Thank you.
Too. All right. Hilchos Fin Halacha Hey, we reached, we're in the middle of Sif Mem Aleph. What we're saying is that the tefillin represents what he called, double life. This is of Maras Machpelah. Each one of those tzaddikim, Pchinas Yaakov, Avram Avinu, the Megala Pchinas Amuna, the Megala, the new, they reveal the new beginning, the notion of beginning again, starting again. So you have four couples in Maras Machpelah. You have Adam and Chava, you have Avram and Sarah, you have Yitzchak and Rivka, and you have Yaakov and Leah. So the four males are the four pashas of Tefillin Shel Rosh, and the four females are the four pashas of Tefillin Shel Yad. And we said that the union of Maras Machpelah is double life of tzaddikim, that start all over again, which is eternal life. And since the principle is that there's always the shell that comes before the fruit. So Maras Machpelah had to come through Ephron, had to come to Avram Avinu. And Ephron is Shon Ofar, Shon sand, Shon soil. And this is the bad aspect of the element of earth, which is inertness. Don't touch that dial. Which is the element of depression, of listlessness, apathy.
Do we have a concept in Judaism that...
If you're going to whisper even lower, say it.
Oh, sorry. Do we have a concept in Judaism that something that is represented like spiritually, like tefillin, has to be represented physically in terms of the people? These four parshas are four people, and these other four parshas are four other people. Do we see that as a common thing throughout Torah, where
everything has manifestation?
Is a human manifestation of that?
Always, because the man is the olam katan. The man is a small world. You have to understand that in truth, I once saw a rock from Har Sinai. You ever seen the Har Sinai rocks?
Yeah.
Har Sinai rock has
the real Har Sinai?
Yeah. So they have
not the tourist attraction one.
No, it's not.
I don't know what it is. So they have on the rock itself. You have in veins. You have the sneh, the all over the bush, the thorny bush on it, and any which way you break the stone, you have the picture of it. It's like. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah. Years ago.
It's a stone that has on it.
You see one?
They're available. I mean, I had two of them. I gave one to my in-laws. It's each way you break it, there is a tzira of the sneh, and you see like dots on it. If you break it like this, you would have it this way. Any which way you cut it, there's the sneh on the stone. The entire world is like that. Any which way, there is the picture of everything. When you look at things from this direction, you can see how, let's say, of Rosh has to do with the tzaddik and Am Yisrael, and the head and the body, and the father and his family, and you see this aspect, exemplified in everything. Any of the principles of Rabbeinu is in every Torah of Likutei Maran is just a different way of slicing, of looking at the entire world, and everything fits into it. The entire Torah fits into it. Each one is a different kind of perspective that all the people and all the sun and the moon and the stars and everything fits into it from this kind of perspective, and it's a full system, and it's a system that works. and many times you can
What does that mean? It works.
you can manipulate it. You work one side and it moves something else. It's a working machine. Every Torah in Likutei Halachos is an app. It's an application. It works, and it's an application that encompasses the entire bria from a different point or a different direction. And not only do they work, but they work from one to another, like cross discipline. That you can have one Torah in Likutei Halachos. Let's say, for instance, that a nova brings to bitachon. There's a whole mahalach that nova brings to bitachon. Then you have another Torah that, let's say, that drinking wine that tzaddik look that brings to a nova. All right, so you can do this and it will do that. In other words, you can drink the wine. I'm not saying that there is such a thing, but I'm saying that actually a drinking of wine that tzaddik looked at is a school for a woman to give birth, give birth easily. You drink a wine that tzaddik is looked at. But let's assume, for instance, that drinking wine that tzaddik looked at was good for a nova. Okay, so you drink the wine good for a nova, and when you happen to work on the nova to get bitochen, it works from this Torah here, and then from that Torah you get it from over there. But these are basically hundreds of total complete systems that work, applications, and interchanged. It's unbelievably complex, but that's the way it works. So you have the four couples, Malchus and Machpelah, and in that particular dissection that Reb Nosson is doing over here, they are a representation of the four parshas, and that's the way I pick Kabbalah. So it's not it's never that they're just that and they're nothing else. Okay? Am I answering you somehow, or just making it more complicated?
Yeah, no, it's a complex system, so there's no real getting your head around it without just going But it's Avram Yitzchak and Yaakov are supposed to be like the head, right? But they're also the tefillin on the head.
And you have Adam Rishon suddenly into the entire cheshbon. It's
Adam's the whole thing. Adam's the whole thing, right? Adam's the whole thing from beginning to end.
okay. At least it was. So now we're talking about that film. That film are besides, taking the main moichen, the main intellect, and writing it down on the medama, on the skin, to affect the cleansing of the medama, and therefore a polishing of the emunah. The tefillin themselves are resting on a base called the titura, right, which is wider than the bottom, and at the back it extends into the ma'barta, the tunnel, the passageway where the ritzuas go, and that's the part that actually rests on the body. The bottom themselves don't rest on the body. It's the titura and the ma'barta that rest on the body, and they are the interface of the tefillin to the skin itself. The titura is and this is the sort of Yaakov Avinu vayavor es ma'bar Yabok, and he went through the passage of Yabok when he's going to meet Esav. Vayavor es kol asher lo, and he passed everything which belongs to him.
You starting from the beginning?
This is Memalef.
From the beginning, you starting?
No, it's towards the end of the first. What does Rashi say? Rashi says, Ma'avar Yabok, that he made himself into a bridge. In other words, by passing things from one side of the river to the other, he acted as a bridge of bringing things from here. So this is the entire end of tefillin, is to put emunah into you, that you'll be able to form a bridge over this world, to go from the time that you're born until the time that you leave to this world without being dragged down.
We're connecting Yabok with bridge.
Yeah, Rashi says that.
He says that Yabok.
Yabok, he says, he made himself into a bridge. And this is this is the Ma'abauta, because the main thing is the you see the last paragraph before at the end of the right here on the right side. וזה בחינת תיתור של התפיל, that base of the tefillah שהוא בחינת גשר, which constitutes a bridge. כי עיקר הגשר, לעבור עליו בזה העולם, the main bridge to get over this world in one piece, הוא אמס, is the truth. It is so easy to deceive yourself in this world. Keep your eye on the ball. Keep your eye on the truth.
Is that right? Yeah, is that the song? Gesher Tzamel.
Gesher Tzalmeod, bridge over troubled water, anywhere you want to look at it. No, it's
No,
the
that's
information
what
taken all over the world.
That's what we know.
Yes. And that's how I'm Garfunkel. All right.
Don't edit
Keep
that
going.
out, that's-
What?
Keep going.
Congratulations.
We've got to get somebody to edit your videos, all the funny moments, and just put them one after
All
another.
the
Bloopers,
bloopers.
right? The outtakes. Kutaloch bloopers.
And in between everyone, you'll just be going, what?
What? What? No, seriously, what?
Okay, here's to Ricky.
Ricky?
Remember?
Oh, yeah. It's the guy.
That's a private joke. The main thing is the person has to pass through this world on a very narrow bridge. And the main thing that he shouldn't get frightened at all. Now, the song that they make out of this, they changed the world of Rabbeinu. They said, the main thing is not to be afraid at all. Rabbeinu doesn't say that. Because they think that Rabbeinu doesn't know Hebrew, so
Who's
he
they?
doesn't...
Who's they? Who changed it?
The singers that the Oilam says, you know, not to be afraid at all. But that's not what Rabbeinu says. So they said, you know, the Rabbeinu says, lo yispachet klal. Yispachet means he shouldn't scare himself at all. Yispachet is milashon itpael. It's that something else moves you, activates you. So hitpael. Hitpael is to be excited by something else. It's a passive action. In other words, that lishon hitpael is that when something else moves you. Lo lefachad means not to be afraid. But what Rabbeinu is saying over here is don't scare yourself. Don't allow yourself to get scared. In other words, how can you lo lefachad klal? How can you not be afraid if something scares you? No, Rabbeinu says you have a bechira over here to put yourself in a situation where you don't get scared by what's happening in this world.
Sounds like the same thing.
It is, but it's one of them is just basically saying, you know, this kind of iconic cliche. The main thing is just not to be afraid. It's a different thing when he says the main thing is not to allow yourself to be afraid. It's a state of mind that you prepare yourself. It's an active.
Right. So one is don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid is nice, you know, for a Hallmark card. I mean, don't be afraid. Duh. Thank you very much. What do I do with the next explosion? I'm not going to be afraid. You know, it's like a.
One is a statement saying don't be afraid, and the other one is
the main thing is not to be afraid at all.
You have to force yourself not to be afraid.
It's a direct. One of them is a statement. If that the world is a very narrow bridge, but the main thing is not to be afraid. That's the main thing. There's no directive over here. There's no instructions here. But when you're saying shelo yispachet klal, it means that the main thing is that you should not get scared. In other words, don't allow yourself to get scared.
He said, where did he say?
Likutei Maran. It's one of the most famous Likutei Halachos.
That's like the personal letter he wrote to everybody.
No, it's Simach Mem Ches in the second Chelik.
He's very personal in that lesson. He
Yeah.
talks like to you.
שצורך לעבור ברזי העולם הגשר צמוד, you have to pass in this world in a very narrow bridge, and the main thing, שלא יספח את הכלל. Don't get scared at all. Don't scared at all. This is what he's saying. ולזכויס לעבור על הגשר הצר שזה העולם, and to be fortunate and meritorious to get over this narrow bridge of this world, well, that's the bridge of the tefillin. Shem B'chinas Emes. The tefillin is the thing that shines to you, that propensity, that proclivity to Emes, to be pushed, to be pulled towards the Emes. Like the world said that with Emes, you can go through the entire world. Because the main thing is Emes, ki choisem shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu Emes, uvonechtemu shemayim va'aretz. The seal of Kadosh Baruch Hu is truth, and with this, the both heaven and the earth were sealed onto their, state that will exist forever. כמו שכתוב בראשית, ברא אלוקים, the three first words of the Torah, סופי תיבס אמס. Bereshit is the Taf, Bara is the Aleph, Elokim is the Mem. It consists of the letter Emes. This is the entire world rests on Emes.
Why are the letters not in the right order then?
Mm-hmm.
Why are the letters not?
It doesn't have to be. It means something else when it is Keseder. It means something else when it's not Keseder. I mean, these are Kabbalistic techniques. Actually belonging to the realm of Remez, not the realm of Sod. All the union of Hashitevis and Sofetevis, whatever it is, but it's the order is never an issue. Not only this, when you say Al Pi Kabbalah, a gematria of something, the numerical value of a word, and you can always add another one, which is the koilel, the encompassing word. Connect as another digit into the. These are Kabbalistic techniques. There's certain rules. I'm not very familiar with them, but it's
right.
We know that the Sophia Tevis is, the order is not makel. This is what this is the entire world is standing on it. This is a very, very important passage. All the confusions and all the obstacles that stand before a person, Avodas Hashem, Shaikar u'Menias Samoach, the main thing is the blockages of the mind, the hurdles of the mind. That's the thing that blocks everything. The minute you remove these blocks, everything is possible. The main eitzah to get over everything is, what is the truth? What is the emes? What's the truth here? The truth teaches a man the route and the way that he has in order to go over everything. It says in Tehillim, send to me your light and your truth, they will lead me. I will walk in your truth. The truth is a way, is a path to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The emes is the bridge of holiness. This is what was told to Yaakov, who constitutes, who epitomizes, who is the embodiment of emes. He made himself like a bridge. He made himself onto a bridge. This is a hint, and that alludes to the fact that the emes is the bridge to everything.
Can you remind me? Can you remind me the
Not if you are
significance?
whispering.
Can you remind me the significance of the word yabok? Maybe you saying
Bucky.
Yabok is Yichud Rocha Kedusha, is from the Keser to the Tiferes to the Malchus. That was all the way to. Ki Yaakov asatz mukhe gesher. Yaakov made himself into a bridge. La'atzil et kol hashalom mipachad layla, in order to save everything, to rescue everything that he had from the fear of night. ומפחדו של עשו שלח לכוסה, and from the fear of Esav that was coming his way. שכל זה בחינס כלוליוס הפחודים והייסורים והמניעס שיש לו עוד מכל הסוינים והמעקרים שמלבס מיצר אורן. This fear of night and fear of Esav represents all the fears and all the anguish and all the obstacles that the person has from all those that are against him, whether spiritual, physical, that all that hold him back, that the Yetzer Hara uses as puppets in order to hold him back. This is the Esav that epitomizes, that symbolizes the Yetzer Hara. Okay, Yaakov Sinu Labonov. This is why Yaakov Avinu has alluded to his children, hinted to his sons. It is impossible to get over all these fears, all these anxieties. Do what is true. The heart is there, the Madama is there, the Yetzer Hara is there to sway you and to get you to postpone things, to kid yourself that you don't really have to do it, or that you could do it and get away with it, and all those things. Stick to the emes. What is the truth? Many times when somebody calls you and asks for an eitzah, you think that you need to have a Ruach HaKodesh to give him an eitzah. But that's nonsense. You don't. The only thing you need to do is you need to ask him, what do you think? A person knows what he needs to do. A person knows what he needs to do. It's just that he's looking from the middle, so he can't.
Sometimes somebody can be locked in a maze or trapped and they go, I know I need to get out.
They say that, but I'm not saying bichlal, when you don't know anything. When I'm saying that, should I do this, should I do that? When you're saying, I have money in my pocket, I have 1,000 shekel in my pocket, and I need to pay this person 800 shekels, okay? If I pay the 800 shekels out of 1,000, I'm going to have 200 shekels in my pocket. I'm not going to have enough money for this or enough money for that. I'm going to remain without any money. So what should I do? Should I just, give him 400? Which means by the time you get to him, maybe you give him 100. By the time you get to him, you convince him, what does he need 400 shekels for? Was he a millionaire or he's going dancing? 100 shekels is good for him. You know something? 60, just to teach him humility. You speak to somebody else, he'll tell you, in the Daf Yomi of 2 days ago, we learned that there are 3 things that there were nigzer in the world. These are decrees that HaKadosh Baruch Hu decreed when He created the world. If they were not decreed, they should have been decreed. What are they? One of them is that a deceased person should smell bad. Secondly, that somebody who passes away eventually gets forgotten. And the third one, that money goes. Money is like butter on a hot skillet. There's nothing you can do about it. There's no way that you can keep on to money. Money goes.
We're going to say either the money gets taken away or the person...
Yeah, or the person is being taken away from the money. But the main thing is that you have 1,000 shekels and you have an 800 shekel debt. If you pay him the 800 shekels, the debt is gone. Then maybe you'll be pressed with 200 shekels you don't have, whatever it is. Because Baruch will take care of you. If you say, I'm going to give him 400 shekels, actually 3, come to think of it, to teach him humility, no, that's 200. Right? I'm not in the mood. 250, okay. If he's not, but if I don't find him home, it goes down to 175. the money that you have in your hands, that you wanted to keep it in your pocket to feel some kind of confidence, hey, I have some money in my pocket, I'm a human being, right? It's going to be gone, and the debt is still going to be there. Masha'enken, if you pay it, you're done, you're finished. Okay? So if a person calls you up and says, what do you think I should do? You're not supposed to say something. It's not a big secret. You ask them, what do you think you should do? Forget about it. It doesn't mean you're going to do it. Okay, well, let's leave the SR out of it for a minute. What do you think you should do?
I was going to say, I should give him the money.
90% of the time, you know exactly what you need to do. A person knows what the emes is. The problem is that the Yetzirah is working like, with these coconuts with a pebble underneath. That they switch it, and where is it? No, wait.
He stops you asking the question. You just go, I'm just going to keep it.
So the trick is you go outside, somebody is outside from the thing, and then he helps you but if you stick to the emes, you'll be fine. If you stick to the emes, you'll be fine. Sometimes, and the trick of the matter is, the way to stick to the emes, which I've given you right now, is that you have to realize, I'm driving myself insane. Let me call someone that I trust, put it before him, so he can help me, ascertain for myself what I really should do. Knowing that you are incapable of listening to the emes on your own is in itself their emes.
So how do you break your fact that you ignore the fact that you know what you need to do?
Because once you speak to somebody and you say it, it takes hold. It takes hold. Because the only reason why you would keep that money is because maybe it's the right thing to do. No, you don't. If you don't speak to somebody else about it, you don't. The Yetzirah can sort of like work with mirrors, like there is a seichel why you shouldn't. You need somebody else to ground you. In fact, the truth of the matter is that we should be talking to one another every day. Every day. Just call up, after the show, whatever it is, call up, say hello. The reason for it, that cleans the channel, that creates a channel of communication. When you call every day, you say, how's your day? Today I'm feeling like this, I'm feeling like that, whatever it is, it's okay. Sometimes, you hear from other people how you feel. When you call friends, a good friend, every day you say, Chok v'lo I'm going to speak to him just to say hello, just to have a good day. To wish and tell him, listen, I love you, man. You're my best friend, or one of my best friends, or another friend among whatever. I just wanted to ask you how you are, and I want to tell you, something. I have this kind of, question in my mind, whatever. I'm not sure what to do, or whatever it is. Sometimes he will tell you and ask you. Good that you called, whatever it is. So at the time when you're really in need, you have that channel open to you because you're using it all the time. If you don't do that, when you really need to call somebody, you don't, because it's not something that you do. It's a tova that I'm just telling you.
You can end up driving yourself insane, like not speaking to people.
Find yourself a friend, from among the friends of the shir, call one another just to wish each other a good day, to give each other a bracha. Just in the middle of the day, thought about you, should have a bracha, Hashem, whatever it is. And then you mentioned, then you realize that things get so incredibly easy. Then it's just a question, instead of chalukas ha'etzah, instead of the split decision, it just becomes a question of carrying it out. Because the Gemara says, "En hakola k'atar sasafek." There's no relief that can equal the absolving of a doubt. Once you know what's supposed to do, you do, you don't do it. That's a different kind of fight. But when you don't know which way to go, this is agonizing. So I'm just telling you. Good advice. So all the everything is upon the truth. The truth is the gesher shekdusha. All the pchadim, all the fears, and all these surim that the person gets from all the aspects that keeping him away from the Kodesh Baruch Hu. This you can go through everything through the emes. Shu b'chinas Yaakov shesas moka gesher made himself as a bridge. Shu b'chinas tiktur shel tefillin. That's the base of the tefillin. And with this koyach, the truth, the koyach of going over, using the emes to go over everything, you can go in this world all the days of your life on this very narrow bridge that everybody has to pass without any fears.
Do we say that when Yaakov crossed that bridge, or he crossed the Yabok, he then created the ability for future generations to be able to cross it?
Yeah.
He opened the way, so to speak.
He opened the way and he advertised it at the same time by his action.
The very fact that it's in the Torah, it teaches something.
Yes.
Because what?
You should know, by the way, that there's a sefer called Mavar Yabok that has all the different kind of psukim and all the inyonim that are being said on somebody's deathbed. And Chevek Kadisha to even the goyim have this legend of the river that you're supposed to pass, and this. But by them, it's really supposed to pass after you, because they don't realize that it's the word itself. It's the river. It's not afterwards, right? It's called Styx. Yeah. The river Styx, with the, I don't know, whatever. They have the mythologies that they have, that supposedly the reaper, takes a person in a boat to the other side, to the land of the who knows what.
The reaper is just the Malach HaMavet, isn't it?
Yeah, the land of the zombies. I don't know. All right, this world is the river. This world is the river. It's not, and so Maval Yabak, that's the this world is the Yabak, and the Maval, that's Ma'abalta. That's the Titur of the Tefillin that gives you the emes, which gives you the Ma'abalta, that you can go through this world. You can cross this world properly. It's one of the things that I remember, that when I first joined Breslov 30-some odd years ago, and I was Baruch Hashem B'Zocher to be part of the Chabur of a very special people in Bnei Brak. I came in, and the main minyan in Breslov was Vasikin. I had a chavrusa, Rav Nachman Galinsky, Zecher Tzaddik Livrocha, a young man, that his father, as a Yankele Galinsky, is still alive. He was Rosh Yeshiva of Itri Hadera, a very famous Magid. He's a very funny guy. He's this tall. And he is funny. I mean, he's a Rosh Yeshiva, he's a very chashivit. He used to go speaking even to fry people, whatever. So once they called him to be Amid al Hashem in a bris of a general in Tzahal. Now, so Nimrod is an Israeli name. They like this because it sounds like so, But Nimrod, what the Nimrod the Torah is. So when it came, it says V'Kol Shmo B'Yisrael. So they gave Rabbi Yankele Galinsky. They gave him Midul Hashem. So he says V'Kol Shmo B'Yisrael. The father says Nimrod. So he says Hitler. He goes, what Hitler? He says, what Nimrod? What are you talking about? What Hitler?
There's no cameras.
Okay, that's Yankele Galinsky, right? So,
What's his name? Yankele Galinsky.
Yankele Galinsky. He's famous now. They just came up with a whole forum with his vision, whatever it is. That's the kind of thing he is. Okay, but so I think he changed the name. Anyhow, be that as it may. So Nachum Galinsky was learning in Ponevich, and then was come to Breslev, and they made a big stink out of it in Ponevich. He was very choshev in Ponevich. He was a tzaddik for a boch, a tzaddik of Ingeman, and he used to live in this apartment, second floor apartment in Bnei Brak. It was built into a hill. So to get through the knisa, through the entrance to his house, you went to the second floor. But if you climb the hill, you can go directly to his kitchen, because it was built into a hill. That's it. And the whole house was like a corridor. It's like a train. It was like, I don't know, 3 rooms, whatever it is. Just
Almost like a container kind of.
yeah, just like a container. That was the house. So we had a chavrusa for Chatzos. I would come wake him up one night, and he would come wake me up one night, and together we'd go to Mikveh Chofetz Chaim. Then we go to what used to be the orchard, the orange orchard of Berman. Today is all built up, and we make his boilers over there. And then we went to Daven Vasik in Babnos's Fis Koilel. And Nachum Galinsky had 8 children, and then he had more. But at that time, he had 8 children, and another friend from America, another Makov, is supposed to be a Rebbe, the Kosner Rebbe is supposed to be. So he came close to Breslov and threw this away. So he came from America to Israel with 10 children. Doesn't know where to stay, so where's he going to stay? Nachum Galinsky, come over. The house, 8 children, there's no place. There's another 10 children, put 2 adults, coming in. You know, it's like, there's a movie called, I think called Night in the Opera by the Marx Brothers, that he's staying in this little cabin in a ship. And more people come in, and more people come in, and more people, yeah. It says, yeah, coming in. Everybody's climbing all over everybody else. Because so there was a guy, a very simple guy, mamash. I mean, on the level of retardation, but not mamash retarded, but very close to it. That was rescued from a guy that owned carpentry. The guy, realized the guy had no seichel at all. He used it as a guard dog. Would leave it there at night. So the guy became he had an eye infection. We took care of him, and he lost his eye. So there was once there was a fire in the place, and they realized there's a guard dog. There's a boy there who's a guard dog. He was like, I don't know, 20, whatever it is. He had the mind of a 12-year-old, 13-year-old. Partial, optimistic, happy, whatever it is. But he knows the guard dog. Good. You have what to eat. You have what to sleep. Whatever. But they rescue him. There's no more, yard, for him to. So what to do with him? What to do with him? Nachum Galinsky said, bring to my house. So, and he grew up in his house. And Baruch Hashem, he got chasana, and he has children. Baruch Hashem, got married to a wife that she herself is a little crippled, whatever it is together. But she has seichel, Baruch Hashem, together. Baruch Hashem, they get married to the Elech, have children. Baruch Hashem, that's Nachum Galinsky. Zechet Tzarek Livrocha. So Nachum Galinsky, I learned from him 2 things I discovered on the spot. A, Avodas Hashem is a real thing. It's not some kind of it's not only that it's not an act. It's not something ambiguous that some people somewhere.
Listening, some people somewhere.
Do, and they're like tzaddikim, What about us? We're like, what do you want from me? The Rebbe, he does that, he's in his room, he's a tzaddik, he's a this. Me, I'm a businessman, I have kviastim, I have chabura, I have this, whatever it is, and Torah says, what about Avodas Hashem? There's a certain kind of a state of mind that's not for me. I learned Torah, I had Torah, but Avodas Hashem. I learned from them, from these guys, each one of the people that davened Vasika was a story all his own. Shlomo is Chaim Shlomo Rothenberg. That was the one who was supposed to be the Kosner Rebbe. There's another guy has this illness in the legs, in the blood vessels in the legs, that the Divrei Chaim from Tzanz used to have. If he stands for a long time, so his legs are bleeding. It's a kind of whatever it is. Every single day, he to come to shul. You look at his legs. He has two legs that look like pillars. Why? Because he has to wrap them up with bandages. These pressure bandages. He goes everything. That's the way he is. And the entire davening, he would stand from beginning to end. He could not sit down. From davening, not from anything else. You can't down. You can't stand. Your legs are bleeding. He couldn't sit. That was one thing, gave away being a rebbe, just to be a chassid by a rebbe, He had Leza Chaim Esrecha, another guy, that every day he would come, and it was a spectacle, when he just put his own in talis. People used to say, there he goes boxing with the SR again. And each and every one is a whole story, a whole maseches, all his own. So the first thing I learned is Avodas Hashem is a real thing. Avodas Hashem is a real thing, and Avodas Hashem is a happy thing. Is a happy thing. You stick with it. You go with it, and a whole different world opens up before you. I remember when we went to Meron. The Olam went to Meron. I think it was Shabbos Chanukah. So the Olam, everybody used to go to Meron for Shabbos Chanukah, and I couldn't go. Because I had some kind of I got chilled. And I'm telling you the story. This Baruch Hashem is being filmed, so at least there's a zecher on this, so people won't start making other Bobby Mises out of it. What I'm telling you is the way it happened. So because after you hear somebody else telling it to you, and it will become bigger and fancier and with all kinds of Purit Tzaddikim about it. What I'm telling you right now, that's the way it happened. We were going to, the Olam was going to Meron, and I could not go because I got chilled, and I had to go to the bathroom, for Ktanim every 5-7 minutes. Never ever happened to you. You just have to go all the time. It's just like you got chilled, but I had to go all the time. And the trip to Meron, that was like 4 hours ride. There's no way I could go. But I had such kisufim that the Olam was going, so what I did was, from my house, they went up at night, so on Thursday night, so I went to the mikveh, Satmar mikveh, and obviously use facilities over there, and you'll understand why I'm telling you all this superfluous detail. And then I went down the street to call Breslev. I went over there. I could go out to the bathroom.
What city was this?
What?
What city was this?
Bnei Brak. Then I went to, again I had to go. And then the bus was standing there. So I went on the bus. I knew I wasn't going. But I went on the bus because all the friends were going. And I was like, how can I know, whatever it is, but at least I'll be with them until they go. I was sitting on the bus, and I was talking to them, and I said, Nachman Galinsky was there. And so I told him how I wish I was going with you. So he said, why not? I said, I can't. I said, I have to go to the bathroom all the time. I won't be able to sustain the trip. So he says, the bus goes, saying Geman, I'm talking about in his early 30s. I'm not talking about somebody in his 50s, maybe late. He was early to like 34. That's probably how old he was. This is in Geman. all right, in his early 30s. And he tells me, listen, the bus is going through the Visions and Mikveh for all the guys that didn't get a chance to go to the mikveh, so we're stopping the mikveh from them to toivel. Stay on the bus, we'll go to the mikveh, we'll do something. Right? The bus goes to the Visions and Mikveh, everybody gets off. I also get off, even though I went to the mikveh already, because I had to go to the bathroom. We get on the bus. Nachman Galinsky puts his talis on his face, starts to daven. Chaim Shlomo Rottenberg puts his head like this on the, used to be these kind of old-fashioned seats over there on the Barzelim he used to hold. He puts his arm like this, started down, and the bus goes to the road. In the middle of the road, in the middle of the way, the bus makes a stop, a pit stop for everybody to get off. Everybody has to get off, to use the facilities, except for me. I don't have to go. It's 2 hours into the trip. And then it goes all the way to Meron. We go to Meron. Every 10 minutes I have to go to the bathroom again. It's 4 hours of the trip to Meron, I don't have to go to the bathroom. So I'm telling you, I'm telling you what happened to me. I'm not talking about, mices about somebody else. This happened to me. This is what I learned from the Chaveira. When you are into Avodas Hashem, that's the world you live in. Yeah.